been in my bag. Please don't make me mad. You been in your feelings. That won't get no cash. Only L's I take is LLCs. We first, not last. I been in my bag. I been in my bag. I been in my bag. Please don't make me mad. You been in your feelings. That don't get no cash.
What's up with the YouTube? Shout out to everybody on Instagram too, man. I love y'all. Let me make sure I get this chat pulled up so I can see what y'all saying. There we go. Shout out to We Count Money, man. He already in here. Shout out to everybody on IG too. Let me get it pulled up so I can make sure I see exactly what everybody's saying. Let's pull it up here. Make sure y'all leave a comment if y'all on YouTube. Hit that like button if you just now joining. Same thing on IG. Make sure y'all show some love and make sure y'all hit that heart button and comment, man. We're going to talk about how to fill that truck up and how to get that back. Okay. I got the comments pulled up for Instagram. Can y'all see me okay or should I zoom in? And on everybody that's on YouTube, can y'all hear me okay? Does it sound good, bro? Everybody that's on YouTube, let me know if y'all can hear me okay. P-Town in the building from Virginia. Shout out to P-Town, man. We got 15 people on there already too, man. Shout out to y'all.
Sounds good.
On YouTube. If y'all can hear me okay on YouTube, man, make sure y'all leave a comment so I can know what's going on. Shout out to everybody on IG. I know y'all can hear me good. Let me know on YouTube if y'all can hear me good, and we'll get this stuff going. We'll get this stuff going. Shout out to all 60 people on here too. Appreciate y'all on IG. If you're on IG and you haven't got us on YouTube yet, make sure you add us on or subscribe us on YouTube. Truck It Out the Box. Obviously, you gotta use the spaces. And if you on YouTube and you haven't already followed us on the gram, make sure y'all check the gram out, man. We're going crazy. Okay, look like we good. Shout out to that pretty skin watching me on the TV on the YouTube. All right. So today we're gonna talk about how to maximize the most out of your 26-foot box truck. Or maybe you got a 24 or maybe you got a 16. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on Instagram. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit on Instagram. Hey, man, let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. Let me know if that's a little bit better IG. And like I said, I appreciate everybody on YouTube. Let me know what they say in the comments. I ain't got it pulled up. We're going to be talking about how to maximize your potential for your 26 box truck. Or maybe you got a 24, 22, 16. Yeah. How do you do that? Well, let's use a different black. This is the best way to do it. Let me know in the comments too. Y'all should be telling me before I even write it down. Partials. That's the best way to do it. Now, I know a lot of y'all, especially y'all that might be a little bit more green, or just a little, might lack a little bit of knowledge. Let me explain this thing. Let me explain this partial, right? And let me explain to y'all how I book partials, right? Everybody may do it a little bit different. I'm going to kind of give y'all some sauce today on how I break it down all the way, okay? Let me get a little bit better on Instagram so y'all can see the full. There we go right there. That's perfect, IG. So when I book partials, first off, when I'm getting onto the load board, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm not looking for partials. I'm not looking for a dedicated load. I'm not looking for a load that's going far. I'm not looking for a load that's short. I'm looking for the absolute best load.
IG saying you should flip the camera differently because partials is looking backwards on the screen.
Oh, okay. So here we go. Let's do it like that. Oh, my bad, y'all. My bad, everybody on IG. Here we go. Fixing it now. It wouldn't be us without some bloopers. Now, I'm not going to really be able to see if y'all can see me cool. So y'all got to let me know in the comments on IG. I appreciate everybody being patient too. Let me know if y'all can see me cool. Is it too far down?
You can see the window.
Is that better? Is that a little bit better? Let me know. Shout out to IG, man. I appreciate y'all too.
Yeah, that's better. Well, you can see the ring light
Okay. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have Brene. We're gonna have to have her hold it. Sorry, so I'm gonna have to do that. So you're gonna have to come around here or something, so you ain't in the way. Right here. Appreciate y'all being patient, man. All right. If you need to zoom in, you can zoom in too. So it look like I look on YouTube. I don't know why you didn't read it clear. You still you don't have to. Shout out to everybody being patient too. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know how it be with this YouTube setup stuff. You don't have to be letting me know what to say. 3 weeks straight. Somebody said 3 weeks straight fire. Yeah, man, we back, man. We back. All right, now let me pull it up on both so I can see everything. Let me go to my YouTube real quick. Appreciate y'all again being patient. Thank y'all. All right. Boom. Okay, now we good. Once again, I appreciate y'all being patient. Sorry about that. So, let me get in here so I can see the comments. Okay, here we go. So, like I was saying, when I'm hopping on the load board to book loads, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm not necessarily looking for, you can zoom in better. You shouldn't be able to see like the feed, all that stuff. So, like I was letting y'all know, when I'm on the load board, I'm really looking for the absolute best load, right? I'm not looking for the thing that's the most far, the most miles. No. Now, let me explain. Let me go into depth about that. Some of y'all think partials. Well, let's explain. What is a partial? A partial is a load that's a good partial is a load, depending on the pay, that does not take up the entire box truck. However, depending on how much space and how much weight it does take up, there needs to be a certain amount attached to that for it to be an actual true partial. Also, technically a partial, cut that off. I can't turn that all the way down. Also, a true partial is something that can drop off whenever. Now, those are partials that you might not see that often, or you'll have a broker list something, and just because it doesn't take up the whole 26 feet, but it drops tomorrow, they'll call it a partial. Technically, bro, that's not a partial. And if you wait long enough, you'll be able to get that load at a dedicated rate. Back me in the comments if y'all ever had that happen to y'all. So if a load is 13 feet or less and it takes up 4,000 pounds or less, you can actually book that for $1 amount, right? That is something that you can do. If the load is 16 feet and it's $1 amount, but it's 8,000 pounds, I'm not booking that. You're taking up too much space weight-wise in the truck for you to have a greater opportunity to get another load. It's going to make things a little bit difficult. If you have something 26 feet, but it's only on one side of the trailer, but it's paying you $1.40 amount, in my opinion, that's also not a good partial to book first. This is another thing that I want to make clear in this too. Depending on if you're booking it first or second, that could really, really determine if you should be booking it or not as well. I'm gonna give an example. So a true partial can drop whenever. Hopefully y'all can see that. I know my handwriting is ugly. A true partial can drop whenever. I'm gonna give you an example. A U-box. So a U-box, usually when you pick it up when they first post it or a little bit after when they first post it, you can pretty much drop it damn near anytime within the next 30 days, right? Now, it may be 2,500 pounds, and depending on what truck it is, it may take up 5 or 8 feet, and it may even be I'll say it may be 800 miles for $500. Now, I want a little bit of participation in this. Let's say it's a U-box, right? Let's say it's a U-box. let's say it's a U-Box. We already know a U-Box is 2,500 pounds, right? 2,500 pounds. That U-Box, if you have a box truck that's not like my Mac, it's going to take up 8 feet. That's the majority of y'all. So I'm going to just type in, I'm going to just put in 8 feet. Now, you have nothing on your truck. They're telling you it can drop whenever, but it's 800 miles. Three answers. I want you to say yes in the comments. I want you to say no in the comments. Or I want you to really ask me the question that you should be asking. Or you should be asking the broker when you see this, right? It's a U-Box. It's 2,500 pounds. You got a 26-foot box truck. It's 8 feet. They want to give you $500. What question should you be asking? What question should you be asking? If you don't know, say, hey, I don't know. If you know, type it in. If you guess it in the comments. Let me read what they're saying. Tell me what they're saying on Instagram.
Somebody said, what do you mean by regular truck and trailer?
Okay, let me explain what I mean by regular truck and trailer. So, while y'all in the comments asking me the question y'all should be asking, or if you don't know, say I don't know in the comments. What I mean by regular truck and trailer is a 26-foot truck that can fit a U-Box, because you do have to be 97 inches or taller to even fit this, right? You do have to be 97 or taller. Now, usually trucks, box trucks that are 97 or taller that can fit a U-Haul, they're usually only about 94 to 96 wide coming through the door, right? If you're 94 to 96 wide coming through the door, you are not going to be able to turn this U-Box. My U-Box is 99 wide through the door, so I can turn the U-Box to where it only takes up 5 feet. That's what I mean. So usually it's going to be 8 feet in your truck. But if I put it in my Mac with the swing doors, knowing that I got 99 width, I can load the U-Box the same way that a semi-trailer can load the U-Box. So if you guys actually notice, when you're looking on the load board and you see a U-Box, sometimes you'll see it posted for a van for 5 feet, 2,500 pounds, or you'll see it posted for an SB box truck for 8 feet, 2,500 pounds. Now, again, somebody said, how many miles is that U-Box going? There you go. But remember, I told you it's going 800 miles. Just for this instance, let's say 800 miles. 800 miles. Just for this instance, let's say 800 miles, Jeff. Let's say 800 miles. Jeff said no good. $500, 8 feet, 800 miles. No good. He's saying no good. Let me tell you guys the question you guys should be asking. The question you should be asking me is, where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Depending on where we are located at, bruh, you take that load. Depending on where we are located at, you do not take that load. Let me give you an example. If I'm in, now we're talking about the first load. For this example, we're talking about the first load. If I'm in Chicago, Indiana, Ohio, anywhere in the Midwest, I'll be honest, anywhere in the Midwest, and I see a U-Box for the first load, 8 feet, 500 miles, $500, 800 miles, I'm probably not going to book that. I'm probably not going to book that. Now, if I'm over east, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, right? We don't go to Virginia, but if I'm in anywhere of those areas, I'm taking it. Fallout said, man, $500 for 800 miles. Nah, you have to remember this. You have to be fully conscious of where your truck is at. You also have to be fully knowledgeable of that region where your truck is at. So you're saying $500. Let's say the load is picking up in Jersey and it's going to Chicago, Illinois. It's 8 feet, $500, 800 miles. I don't know why I put that money sign right there. Sorry about that, y'all. I probably threw some people off. But if it's $500, 800 miles, it's taking up 8 feet and it could drop whenever, bro. You pick that shit up, bro. You pick. I don't give a care. If it's first, second, third, you try to find a way for that to fit in your truck. Now, if you're in, like I said, if you're in the Midwest, that's, in my opinion, I'm not taking that. Now, I'll throw it on the back end. So if I just booked a dedicated load and I turned it into a partial, we're gonna talk about that next. It's gonna be a nice show. We're gonna talk about that next. If I book a dedicated load and I done turned it into a partial and I see something like this that's going the same exact way, hell yeah, I'm throwing it on there. I don't give a damn if it's $500 for $1,000 because I'm just throwing that on there. We're gonna make that work, especially if it's dropping in the same exact place, right? So going east to west, you take it. Going Midwest to the east for your first load, you absolutely do not take nothing like that. Now, let me give you another situation where you do take it. Make sure y'all let me know on YouTube if y'all can hear me okay. I got the mic set up. It's kind of far, so I want to make sure y'all can hear me clear. It's not too loud. It's not glitching or nothing like that. Let's say I done found the load, right? And it's $3 a mile going to Florida. It's $3 a mile going to South Dakota. It's $3 a mile going to North Dakota. It's $3 a mile going to Colorado, right? In those situations where you're waking up and that's where your driver is at, he's in a terrible area. But of course you booked it, right? Because you got him $3 a mile. You got him. So for instance, I'm gonna give you an example. I booked a guy to Florida. It was 888 miles. It was 888 miles. I got $3,000 for it. So before I even go on, did I do a good job or did I fuck him because it's Florida? 888 miles for $3,000. Give your opinion in the comments. Let me know what they say on IG too. Let me know in the comments. I want to know. Did I do them dirty? Did I do a good job? 888 miles to Orlando, Florida for $3,000. Let me know in the comments. Somebody said how much per mile don't matter if you're going to Mexico. Take that for sure. Shout out to Diddy. Shout out to Diddy at Freight Fest. Take that. Somebody said it's good. Okay. My man Mondo said he did good. That sounds good. It's more than $1 a mile. Now remember, comedian, I'm talking about going to Florida. I'm not talking about coming out. I'm talking about going to Florida. I booked that. Somebody said, great job. Maybe if you got a load coming out, you have to worry about coming back, $337 a mile. Okay. Somebody said maybe if you got a load coming out. If it's $3 a mile, the more miles, I want you guys to remember this, the more miles that it is, and you got $3 a mile. So for instance, let's say it's 500 miles and I got $1,500. But we're talking about 888 miles and I got $3,000.
Somebody's gonna take 14.
Yeah, you do not turn that down. Let me tell you why. Don't forget about the round trip. Don't forget about the calculations of the entire trip. Let me tell you what I mean by that. If it's 888 miles to get to Florida, but then it's 888 miles to get to Florida. Let's say 888 miles to get to Florida, 880 miles to get back to exactly where you're going, right? So that's roughly 1,600. No, let's say 9. That's roughly 1,800 miles, right? For 1,800 miles, for your bottom, remember, you always want to get the most you can. But for your bottom, we're talking $3,600. In that case, when you land in Florida, you technically only need to get your driver $600 for that to make sense before he gets back to where he just came from, right? So you do not turn that down, bro. You don't turn that down. You don't. It's not about, oh, it depends on what you get back out. No, you know you're gonna find something for at least 50 cent amount coming back. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely book that load. Definitely do not turn nothing like that down. Somebody said, let me get that to Orlando right now. Man, cut it down, bro. You know I'll book y'all back for sure. Shout out to everybody in here on YouTube. Shout out to everybody in here on the Instagram. Don't forget to hit that heart button if you're on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like button. I'm going to be checking it in a minute before we go to the next subject. So make sure y'all hit that like button. And, of course, leave a comment when you can. Okay, so listen. I hope I explained that thoroughly because I do want to move on to the next one. Again, if you have any questions or if I'm moving too fast, please let me know. In this scenario, we talked about a true partial, which means it can drop whenever. In this example, I gave an instance of a U-box. It's usually 2,500 miles, 8 feet, or 2,500 pounds. It's 8 feet, depending on your box truck. Most of your box trucks is going to take up 8 feet because you can only load it one way. They're usually $500. Any truckers in the comments, come on, back me up there. Y'all know it's usually about $5 before you negotiate, but a lot of times, depending on when that drop date is, there is no negotiation. $500, 800 miles. This is a good partial, depending on where you're picking this up from. If you're picking it up on the east, I love it. You're picking it up in the Midwest, I don't like it so much. If you're picking it up in a place like Orlando, when you just came 888 miles and you got $3,000, you definitely book that. but now you need to be making sure it's going to a good place. You don't book your Orlando guy to Louisiana. You don't book your Orlando guy to Mississippi. You don't book your Orlando guy to California or Arizona or back further away from where the money is. No, get him somewhere, depending on the rate, of course. Get him somewhere back toward that Midwest, maybe even the East. For example, what I did with that guy is I sent them to Texas, kind of like that. He's kind of like in between Dallas and Houston, so I'm looking forward to booking him on Monday. All right, nobody said they needed more information on that, right? Okay. Now, let me give you another example. This is my favorite. This is my absolute favorite. Let me give you another example of a partial. This is my favorite, right? Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wait a minute. You said partial. Why the hell did you write dedicated? Let me check the likes. Let me make sure everybody ready. It's going to be a lot of sauce right here, man. It's a lot of sauce. Let me check the likes. Make sure y'all paying attention how y'all supposed to be. We got 46 people on YouTube, only 18 likes. I need that up to at least 30. Everybody go, hit the X button, hit that like. If you're on your TV, it's a way to hit the like too. If you need help, comment help. Everybody on IG, I know y'all always showing love. Appreciate y'all showing love to the reels we recently dropped. Everybody on IG, all I need to see is the hearts going crazy. Hit that heart button on the side of your screen. It could be the heart button, the 100 emoji, the fire emoji. Hit that button. All right, YouTube, I need y'all to show out. Y'all know that's where we started at. That's where we started at. We started on YouTube. We back. All I need is free participation. Hit that like button on YouTube. Hit that like button on YouTube. 46 people in here. We got 21. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. 9 more likes. Let's get it to 30. Let's get it to 30. I'm about to go watch it from my YouTube and like. Man, that's what I'm talking about, Lil Jake. That's exactly what, that's that. Man, that's what I'm talking about. We do it for people like that. Love that. Appreciate that. As soon as we get to 30, I'll drop the sauce on exactly what I mean by a dedicated partial. I got a feeling you guys are going to like this. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button. Hit that like button. I'm on here now. I see we got 48 people in here. We got 23 likes. All I need is 7 more. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button. Exit out the chat. If you're on your phone, hit the like button. Come right back and get the sauce. Get a dedicated route. See how much space you got left. But the partial, put on the space. I like that, Kiwan. I like that, Kiwan. You know I'm gonna break that down to him. There's some, it's a lot of questions in there that definitely. There's a lot of holes in that answer that I want to fill. We got 27. We only need 3 more likes on YouTube. 3 more likes on YouTube. 3 more likes on YouTube. Let me make sure. Let's see where we at. Shout out to all 48 people sticking in here too while everybody hitting that like button. We need 2 more likes. 2 more likes on YouTube. And shout out to everybody on Instagram, man. I know y'all patience be running low, man. I already know. Y'all like, come on. All right, let's see where we at. 1 more like. 1 more like on YouTube. That's it. 1 more like on YouTube. 1 more like on YouTube. So y'all might as well. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Live chat. Let me make sure we in here. Okay, shout out to everybody on YouTube for hitting that. Okay, this is where we at with it. Now, let's talk about dedicated partials. Again, this is by far my most favorite partial. This is something that you see on the load board. You see a load on the load board. It's you're in Indiana. The load is going, five or 600 miles, however many miles. Let's say it's going 500 miles to New Jersey, right? 500 miles. They got it posted for 1,100. You blowing their phone up. You trying to get 13. You end up actually getting 13. So you just booked a dedicated load for $1,300. $1,300, right? For 500 miles. 500 miles. Somebody put that per mile in the comments. You see it's over $2. Somebody give me the exact per mile. It is $1,300 for 500 miles. Give it to me in the comments. Oh, and by the way, how you come up with your rate per mile, RPM, you take the money, you divide it by the miles, that's your RPM. That is extremely important. So all my owner-operators out there, all my owners out there, all my guys with dispatchers out there, making sure they're booking the right loads and the money looking right, make sure you're calculating your RPM. Okay, You just booked the load for $1,300, 500 miles. Now, when you booked it, the guy said, hey, I got this load. It's general freight. It's going from Indiana to New Jersey. Picks up by 4 p.m. Must have pallet jack and a lift gate. You're like, okay, cool. What am I hauling? He instantly gets triggered, right? Because he's a hater. So he said, it's going to take up to 26. It's going the full 26 feet. It's going to take up the full 20. We cannot partial this. It's going to take up the full 26 feet. All I know is it's a dedicated load, right? You're like, damn, okay, I'm just asking what I'm hauling. I don't want to be on the road hauling crack. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you putting no real load in the back of this truck, right? Damn. So you make them laugh a little bit, then y'all move on. So, boom, you just got a load. Everybody in the comments, let me know. It's $260 a mile. That's incredible. Now, your driver gets there, right? Because you included the deadhead in this. Really, the load was 470 miles, but he was 30 miles away. So make sure you include that deadhead in your rate per mile. Now, 470 miles for 30-mile deadhead, 500 miles. He just went and picked the load up. He's picking the load up. As soon as he picks the load up, you as a dispatcher, even you as an owner-operator, whatever you got going on, if you're your own dispatcher, whatever, the first thing you need to be doing is, let's see if they know in the comments. What's the first thing you need to do when you get loaded? Don't overthink this, but I want you to go in order. What is the very first thing you need to do when you get loaded? The very first thing you need to do when you get loaded. See if they know on my IG. What's the very, very first thing you need to do when you get loaded? Somebody said put that real load in there. Going back to Cali. Somebody said measure. No, that's not the very first thing you do. Nope. Somebody said go to a weigh station. Nope, that's not the first thing you do. I want you guys to think security. I want you guys to think responsibility. I want you guys to think cargo. You know, come on, talk to me.
Somebody said grab BOL, do your inspection, take a picture.
Okay, we're getting close. We're getting hot. You definitely grab the BOL. That's technically first. But remember, I'm talking about inside the back of the truck. Somebody said strap the freight. There we go. The very, very first thing you do is strap the freight. Strap the freight. I saw somebody say take a picture. That's the second thing you do. Now, why do you do that? For multiple reasons. You take the picture of the strapped and secure freight because if anything happens in the back of that truck or if anything is already pre-existing on that freight, you want it to be documented. One thing about these shippers and these brokers, they love to play games, and your factoring company will play it right with their ass and not give you the money, or they'll take it back if they already gave it to you. So you want to make sure that you have proof on behalf of your company that no damages were because of you. No weird boxes loaded, anything not strapped down. You have proof that everything was how it's supposed to be, right? That's the very first thing you want to do is strap it down. The second thing you do, like I said, is take that picture so you have that visual proof, but also you want to send that to your dispatcher. Now, the third thing you do after you got the BOL, you strap the freight, you took a picture, is you measure. This is some real sauce we dropping on y'all today. We got about 30 minutes left to give y'all this. You measure. Why do you measure? When your dispatcher booked the load, he said it was dedicated. You got to drop it off tomorrow. You just got there. Why are you measuring? Tell me in the comments. Why are you measuring? The broker said it was dedicated. The broker said you can't partial it. The broker said it has to be there tomorrow. What you measuring for? Let me know in the comments. What are you measuring for? Shout out to all people, 50 people on YouTube. Shout out to the other 60 on IG. Make sure y'all show out. Hit that heart button. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button. I'm going to be checking it before we move to the next one. To book another load. Shout out to Forever. To book another load. What they saying on Instagram? Need that chicken nugget on there? Facts. So you can get another load on top of that. Facts. See how much more space you have. Exactly. Because you want to know how much more you can put in the truck. Exactly. We don't care that we got $260 a mile. What if we go into Jersey where loads is 50 cents a mile or $1 a mile or $1.50 a mile? I don't care about this $260. Shit, I want it to be 10 if I could, right? Peak season on the way. I want it to be as much per mile as possible. Now, especially if you can pick up a true, this is some sauce right here. If this load is dedicated and it's going to Jersey and it drops the next day from 7 to 4 or 8 to 4 or something like that, and you can get you another partial within a couple 100 miles of this, especially if it's really close, if you can get you another partial that's dropping along the way to this, and you can drop it before you get here, you're all good. But you have to make sure that you are responsible, because technically what we're doing, if we're doing this, we're finessing. So you're going to get some guy who's hey, because let's keep it real. At the end of the day, you're putting freight on the same truck. You're running a risk of one freight smacking the other freight. You're running a risk of, if you're tracking, you're running a risk of them knowing you made an additional stop. If you stop at this one before you stop at your next one, you're running a risk of the receiver taking pictures and shit, seeing the other stuff in there, telling on you, getting into the broker, right? This is things that I have dealt with in the past. It's reality. Even though we're trying to finesse and we're trying to get as much as possible, this is something that we do risk. I have to be honest with you guys. But if you do it and you do it right, and I do it right every single day, this can make you a lot of money. You have to make sure that you secure the freight. You have to make sure you check the temperature of the broker when you book these loads. Make sure you read your rate count right. And then also make sure when you get to these shippers and these receivers, you as a driver, man, you need to be cool, especially if it might need a seal or something like that. You know what I mean? You got to be cool. When you get there, make them laugh. Talk to them. Tell them, hey, man, how long you been doing this? Maybe you should get in the, make conversation so that this can go smooth. This entire process can go smooth and you can make a lot of money. Now, why are we even doing this? If you got $260 a mile, $1,300, 500 miles, that's a pretty good load. But why are we doing this? It's because we in box trucks. It's just how it is. We're not in a semi. We have to make the most that we can. We have to maximize this. It's just how it is. Ever since 2022, when fuel went up, rates went down, and brokers start taking a little bit more from the shipper and giving us a little bit less, and Cali shut down, shit, this is something we have to do to be able to stay afloat. This is why in 2022, when I talk about this a lot, this is why in 2022, when a lot of these trucking companies or a lot of these YouTube gurus or whatever the hell you want to call them or us, if you want to put me in that category, right? That's why a lot of them are not in the industry now. That's why a lot of them are doing credit repair or they're moving on to that. Which shout out to y'all, going to the next hustle. But that's why a lot of them just couldn't make it, because they are not like us. They are not like all of us, because what we know how to do, we know how to adapt. That's what a real hustler gonna do. You know what I'm saying? You go in the jungle, you're gonna cut you a lineup and make sure you warm at night. That's what a hustler gonna do. Or you're gonna get scared and get your ass eaten by a bear. It's two different type of people, right? So the reason why we're doing something like this at a nice dollar and even at a nice per mile is we're turning this dedicated load into a parcel. This is my favorite types of parcel, my absolute favorite. This right here is going to take you far, especially depending on where you're going. I do not go to the east without $3 a mile because of the stuff coming back. It's too risky. Now, if I can get $2 a mile coming back, more money, right? But I know at least if I get $1 a mile coming back, I ain't got nothing to worry about because I got two $1,500 loads in New York or in Chicago waiting to go to Jersey and New York. Easy peasy. Do y'all got any questions on this part of the partial game as far as putting a dedicated load and turning it into a partial? Let me know in the comments. I'll make sure I read something that I missed. Make sure y'all hit that like button if y'all on YouTube too. Somebody said maximize to your 100. You already know. Shout out to y'all. Let me check with my people on IG. Let's put another low. Yep. Let me go down here. Shout out to everybody joining. Make sure y'all talk to me in the comments, man. Say what up. How often do you get seals on the back of a truck for a dedicated load? That's a good question. Now, you usually get a seal on the back of a truck, usually if it's food or electronics or something of high value. Those are usually the only times you get a seal. Or let me say this. Not only are those usually the only time you get a seal, but those are usually the only times too where they might actually really, really seal you, right? Now you might be like, hold on, what you just said the same shit. No, you may get a seal more often than you're sealed. What I mean by that is if you go in there cool, like I told you, talking to them, and you kind of low key down there, let them know, like, man, they probably gonna be saying it to you, like, man, damn, it's only one piece. You probably about to go get another load, huh? I've been watching YouTube. I'm just at the warehouse until I get my bag straight, and me and baby about to hop on the road. You about to go get another load, huh? You like, yeah. They're gonna be like, all right, cool. Here go to BOL. Here go to seal. Just make sure you put it on before you. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be different things that they're gonna do, but a lot of the time, the shipper, the receiver, and the broker, bro, they don't even be on the same accord. I'm going to be honest with you. Now, don't get me wrong. It's all a risk. It's all a risk, and you want to play it as safe as possible. So if when you do get to the drop, if you can put it on, just put it on. You know what I'm saying? But as far as putting it on before you can get another load, shit. Me personally, I'm trying to get the BOL and I'm trying to get the seal in my hand. I'm not trying to put it on the truck. Another thing is if it's an actual partial and they give you a seal, you need to be calling the broker ASAP because why are they sealing your truck when it's a partial? That was not a part of the program. Also, some loads, because some brokers is cool, not gonna lie. So sometimes you're gonna book a load and the broker gonna tell you that it can be partial, but please pick it up first. Then it's cool too. They like, yeah, it can be partial, but you gotta pick my shit up first. Or they're gonna be like, hey, it can be partial, but you gotta load my shit last because when you get to the receiver, they ain't got a dock and they gotta put the forklift, you know what I'm saying? They gotta, it has to be at the tail end of the truck so they can get the shit off. So just make sure you're fully conscious when you're booking these loads. If it's a dedicated load, can you get it the same load for the same price every day with the broker for this? I'm kind of confused on what you're saying, but it sounds like you're talking about like a dedicated route. That's what I call a dedicated route. It's something that you got every Friday. It's something that you got every Monday or something that you got every Tuesday and Wednesday, right? Yes, yeah, facts. I got one. I got a few of those. I got one on two. I got a few of those in different parts of the country that I love booking. In general, do partials pay less? Yes. The answer is yes. In general, partials pay less because they know the amount of space that they're taking up in your truck, and they know that you can put, they're allowing you to put other shit on the truck. That don't mean that you can't finesse them though, bro. Like I remember picking up this one load. Shout out to PFL. If y'all need a good broker, shout out to PFL. That's a good broker. I just dropped some sauce. They got a load. It's food. It come from like south of Chicago, and it go like the Pierre or something like that. And it usually be damn near like almost $2 a mile. Now it's a partial, but what they do is they up the rate every like hour and a half. So I'll be liking stuff like that because they'll post it for like $600-700 at 5 in the morning, my time, but by like 7-8 in the morning, it's already at 1,000. You know what I'm saying? So if you play it right and you wait a little bit, especially if it need to be dropped off the next day, and they got lumper fees and all that other stuff that your average driver that's kind of like bougie, because us OTR drivers can't get bougie where we don't like, touching the freight. But if it's a situation like that, they're going to up the freight and they're going to give it to you, man, for sure. Let's see what else y'all saying on IG. But can you make more if the measurements add up? How did you establish your dedicated routes? By relationships and being super cool with the broker and doing good work. That's the number one thing. If you're doing really, really good work, the broker going to love you. What's up? PC Spring Academy based from Shawty. What's up from Atlanta? Shout out to Atlanta, man. ATL in there. We're going to be out there soon, too. What do you do when you get that load and they ask to seal it? You have to finesse it, bro. Just take the seal and say you'll seal it in a minute. You have to. Now, if they seal it, that's a whole nother story. We kind of talked about that in the last live. You can watch it. Don't kind of really want to get into that specifically. But, yeah, to see how much wrong you hit to a partial and say if it's dedicated little broker. Broker talking about break the seal, my boy. Somebody say break the seal. Okay. Let me know what they say. I can see the ones on YouTube, but let me know whenever you get a question or a comment on IG. Read it to me. I know this dude, the king of finesse. I just got my authority. How many months do I need to get dispatched? Man, you can get dispatched that one day, you know what I'm saying? But in my opinion, what I would do is I would really try to lease on with someone so it can make it a little bit easier for you. We do allow that at my company. However, we do charge more for that. But luckily, that's usually only like a 3 to 6 month process, depending on your MC. But yeah, our program is really made for the driver to scale at that point in time when you can book under your MC anyway. But that's to talk about a whole nother story. That's what I'm really trying to get my mentees to get into dispatch once they get at that point. But this is my opinion, man. When you're trying to dispatch, I think you should start your trucking company because it's more fruitful, period. Especially depending on how many drivers you can handle. So if you only one person and you want to have a nice little 3-piece, right, where you only on the load board for 2-3 hours a day and weekends and holidays off, working Monday through Friday, that's probably about at least, if your driver making $500 or $5,000 a month, that's $5,000 a week. That's $1,500 for you every week. Now, if you're pretty damn good and you're able to get your drivers 6,500, 7,500, shout out to my boy Jay at T&J Logistics. I just threw him one of my mentees. He had the nigga eating. I think he had like 7K or something like that, maybe even a little bit more. But when you have a smaller amount of people, don't trip because you're able to allow a special kind of attention to each driver. So I want my fleet owners to think about that too. If you own 1 or 2 trucks or 3 trucks like we do, we own 2 trucks. It's nothing to be able to be like, you know what? I don't need 10 guys. I don't need 8 guys. I can have my 3 guys, and I'm going to try to work my ass off, and I'm going to try to average at least 7,000 for each driver. Now, that's not easy. It's going to put some work in, but if you can try to average it, where you got one guy making 6, one guy making 8, and the other guy making 7, you can average 7. That's $2,100 a week for you. $2,100 a week for you. If they're running under your authority and you're booking those same people over $2 a mile, because if they're running under your authority, shit got to make sense too. So if they're running under your authority and you're making it make sense and you're getting those same drivers over $2 a mile, so even after you take your cut, they're still eating. Now we're at $4,200 a week for 3 drivers. You do the math. That's 16.5, I believe, right off the top of the head. It's like 16.4, 16.5 a month by dispatching weekends, holidays off, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. That's cheese. So, you know, again, this is why I get so passionate when I'm hearing things and I'm seeing things. And people are talking about the industry and the money and this and that. No, it's you're doing something wrong. Maybe get with someone else, or maybe just do a little bit more research, or maybe take a step back. We've had to do it before. We've done it a couple of times. Don't be afraid to take one step back to be able to take them 2 steps forward. You know what I'm saying? This is a part of business, bro. It's a part of business. Someone said, have you ever ran into problems? Somebody said, have you ever ran into problems and when they notice, let me see, have you ever run into problems? Oh, getting paid if they notice the seal is broken. Nah. I had one dude, he tried to finesse me. So I'll just talk about this real quick. I had one guy, make sure I hit that like button on. Let me see where y'all at. Let me see if y'all need that story. That's a saucy story. We got 52 people on YouTube, 38 likes. Let me get 4 more likes on YouTube and I'll tell y'all that story, man. 4 more likes on YouTube and I'll tell you that story. Okay. Partials. Let's talk about partials. The most common partial, or the most sought out partial, is going to be kind of a little bit what I talked about first. And that's going to be one that is half your truck, right? That's going to be one that they say is 6 pallets, 7 pallets, 13 feet, 10 feet, but it's 4,000 pounds, 6 feet, a 6 to 7 foot forklift, but it's 4,000 or 5,000 pounds, right? So when I'm saying half the truck, I'm not just talking about space available, right? I'm not just talking about space available, but what else am I talking about? What else am I talking about? My people on IG, my people on YouTube, hit that like button. My people on IG, I'm not just talking about half, space available when I'm talking about half the truck. What else am I talking about? Let me know. What else am I talking about? Renee, yes, we know a lot about Amazon. Okay, wait, exactly. Bingo. It's not just about space. It's also about the weight, right? So I saw somebody also when we were talking about what some things that you can do is usually you should know the weight. But you guys were right. There's nothing wrong with going to that weigh station. You can do it depending on if you know what your next load is or not. Or even if the BOL might say, like for instance, there's been times where I'll fill somebody's truck all the way up and they tell me like, man, I still got space for 2 more pallets, or I still got 5 to 8 feet. And I'm thinking like, man, I can get you FOMO pouch, or I can at least get you a U-Box real quick, but I'll be like, go get weighed, right? So yes, it's also about your weight. We got 61 people on YouTube. I appreciate y'all. This is only I believe our 3rd week back. I love y'all. I appreciate that. Please help with the algorithm. Hit that like button, you guys. I need you. Hit that like button. The weight. So when I'm saying half the truck, this type of partial is usually $1 amount, right? It's usually $1 amount, right? It's usually $1 amount. And it's usually 13 feet, maybe less on the pounds, or 4,000 pounds, 13 feet or less. Now, this one is important. I want y'all to remember what I just said. When we're talking about weight versus space, the weight can be 4,000 pounds, but it can't be 4,000 pounds, 20 feet, bro. You didn't do good booking a partial for $1 amount, 4,000 pounds, 20 feet. Do not do that. Don't do that. But if it's 4,000 pounds, you do have to resort to the space because it needs to be 13 feet or less, preferably. Will I still book it if it's 14 or 15, depending on where it's coming from? Yeah. I'll tell you another thing. When they say that phrase, this is some sauce. Let me make sure they like it on YouTube, man. Let me make sure they like it on YouTube. Every time I'm about to drop some sauce, I got to make sure I'm liking on YouTube. If you're on IG, you tired of me saying that, go to YouTube, subscribe, make sure you hit the like button. Let's see how many likes we got. We have 43. Man, give me 7 more, man. That ain't too much to ask for. Give me 7 more likes on YouTube. Give me 7 more likes on YouTube. That'll get us at the 50 mark. Somebody try to like twice. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go on and like it from my other account. I'm gonna go on and like it. So just give us 6 more. Give us 6 more likes. 6 more likes on YouTube. Shout out to all 63 people in there. I appreciate that. I love that love, man. We back. We only need 5 more. We only need 5 more likes. We only need FOMO likes.
Somebody said, how many miles should you be going for a partial?
How many miles should you be going for a partial? It don't matter. I will say this. The less, the better. Let me tell you why. Wouldn't you rather go 500 miles for $500 as opposed to 1,000? I mean, that shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why when I be in Jersey and New York and shit, I never book loads no more to Minnesota or Omaha, because it's like, man, that's so many miles. I'd rather, for instance, we know the East is stupid, right? So not the people in the East, man. Shout out to my niggas on the East. Shout out to Philly. Yeah, you know what I mean? Shout out to Jersey, New York. Yeah. But shout out to Baltimore. Shout out to DC. But as far as when I'm talking about, loads, I wouldn't book no 1,200 mile load going to Minnesota. Why would you do that when you could book 600 miles to Indianapolis? Why would you do that when you could book 550 to Cincinnati? I'm doing that all day because worst case scenario, the East is so goofy when it comes to loads. If you do only get that one load, you only got your cost per mile for 550 miles instead of getting your cost per mile for 2 days going 1,200 miles. Hell no. Now, this is crazy, right? Because if I got a guy in Minnesota, they make sure my YouTube people still hitting that like button, but if I got a guy in Minnesota and he's going the other way, right, and I see a load 1 pallet going to New Jersey, and I got 3 days to drop it off, and it's $1 a mile, bro, I'm booking that shit, because as soon as I book it, I'm telling him, go to Chicago, I'm going to get you another load tomorrow. Matter of fact, don't even go to Chicago. Stop a little bit above Chicago just in case I might see some shit in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Kenosha, or something like that, right? Shout out to YouTube, man. Y'all got me to that 50 ball ASAP. Now, what I would do if it was y'all, man, and you haven't hit that like button yet, hit it. That way, when it's time to get to the 60 likes, y'all already there, right? I love y'all. Shout out to all 65 people in there. We got 10 minutes left. 10 minutes. I hope that answered your question, though, right? But again, with this weight, 4,000 pounds, 13 feet or less, cool partial. Now, of course, 1 pallet, 1,000 pounds or two, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is cool. Now, this is where it gets tricky, right? This is what I want to end it on right here. Y'all know us. We got to keep it real, right? This is what I want to end it on. This is what I want to end it on. This is what I want to end it on. This is my least favorite partial. This is my least favorite load, period, right? I'm going to call this one. Hope I spelled that right, man. But I'm going to call this one the unknown. This is where you book a load and you're on the phone with the broker and he tells you it's 6 pallets. No. This is where it's dedicated, right? It's dedicated. You're on the phone, you're trying to book a load, and the guy says, oh yeah, it's 6 pallets. It's going from Indiana to Jersey. It's going from, wherever, right? And he's like, yeah, I'll give you $1,000. Oh shit. I'll give you $1,000, right?
This is what I booked last week when I said it was 6 pallets, 1,000 pounds. And then 6 pallets take up the whole 20.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. So I just can't remember the amounts and the money. But let's say he's like, yo, it's 6 pallets. I'm gonna give you $1,000. It can drop the next day or the day after. If he cool, he's like, yeah, man, you can drop it whenever you might get there. Remember, I told you these brokers kind of don't be knowing. So he's thinking like whatever your compliance to do, or whatever it takes, whatever, as long as you get it there by Wednesday. Today's Monday. As long as you get it there by Wednesday, we're okay, right? But it's 600 miles. So you ask a little bit more questions because he's in I'm gonna name him. He's in what's that spot in Kentucky? Not Louisville. It's the other spot. Let me look. Not Louisville. It's another spot out there in Kentucky. And I'm gonna let you guys know exactly why I'm, huh?
Hebron?
Nah. Lexington, right? Let's say he's in Lexington, right? Lexington usually isn't as good as Louisville. It's not as close to Indy. It's still okay, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Let's say he ain't even in Lexington. He's south of Lexington. So you've been on the load board 2.5, 3 hours already, maybe even 4, and you seeing this, and it's going to the east. So I ain't even gonna say it's going to a great area, you know what I'm saying? But it's time to get your driver a little bit of money. You woke up at 5 a.m. It's 9. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's picking up. Listen, he's in Lexington. It's picking up in Louisville. It's picking up in Cincinnati, right? It's picking up in these areas. And with Deadhead, it's 600 miles, $1,000. He told you it was 6 pallets, 2,500 pounds. 6 pieces, 2,500 pounds. 2,500 pounds. I know you're booking it because I'm booking it. And if you ain't booking that, then you blew it, right? But when I say the unknown, the broker told you that these pallets were standard. You already see something on the board. You ain't got, you can at least wait till your driver pick this up to book it because it's only $1 a mile, or something like that. Or maybe it's $200 less than $1 a mile, right? So you're like, yeah, I'm gonna pick that up. It's picking up in Louisville, right? That's a little bit closer to the money. I'll still have enough time to book another load. And worst case scenario, he gave me 2 days to book it. So even if I just got him 1,000 and he get there, maybe I'll have him sit and book the other one tomorrow, right? But what happens when you get there? You get there and them 6 pieces, big as hell. You get there, you see, you can't even call the broker and trip. You can't call the broker because the broker told you it was dedicated. The broker told you that he told you it was 6 pieces and they were supposed to be normal pallets, you know what I'm saying? But he told you he needed a dedicated box truck. So when you pull up and these motherfuckers ain't standard, they oversized, and it's taking up the whole 26 feet. Now you're in a situation where you got this guy $200 less than $200 less than $2 a mile, not even including your 10%. Or maybe they're running under your authority, so it's not even including the 20%. So now, this is really after your fee, right? After your fee, as a dispatcher, right? You got him $800 for 600 miles. You fucked him. That's what we say in the house. Oh, you just fucked him. But this does happen. I would be lying to you if I told you that every day is going to be sweet. I'll be lying to you if I said that sometimes the same chances that made you a champion ain't going to have you fall on your ass. But this is why that trust and that communication between you as a dispatcher and your driver has to be the top of the level it can be, at the top. It has to be extremely fine, right? He has to know that sometimes we're taking these risks. He has to know that you might even got to go back a week and a half ago, but luckily it's only a couple of days ago or something like that. But he's going to have to realize that, God damn it, today I only got 800 for 600 miles. But 2 days ago, he got me 3,000 for 645 miles. I know he's fighting for, you know what I'm saying? But this is a possibility. Does this mean you're a bad dispatcher? No. Does this mean it's time to give up? No. What this means is when he gets to Jersey, fuck Jersey. As soon as he picks this load up and he tells you shit is oversized, why don't you put in a little overtime for him and start booking him something in Jersey for the next day ahead of time, right? You know, you just fucked him. It wasn't like it was intentional, but why don't you try to help him out where you can say, okay, well, damn, hey, I got this one load. I just booked it. It's for sure 13 feet. It's 4,500 pounds. But he's giving me $750 for 700 miles. I booked it. Now you're one load closer to getting them $2 a mile coming out of the east to get them in an area where you can hit that home run, I like to call it, and get them that $3 to $4 a mile coming out of the Midwest going right back. Or maybe you keep it local for a little bit and keep them kind of in that Midwest aiming for, partials going to Detroit. I don't like going to Detroit, but one thing I will say is it's a lot of Chicago to Detroit, it's a lot of Chicago to Romulus, stuff like that for, $500 and stuff like that. You put a few of them in there, you can make that make sense. But I'm saying that to say those situations can easily happen, but as long as you have that communication between yourself and your driver and he understands, I don't think he's going to trip too much on you, man. Ask the dimensions of the pallets. No, because remember I said, well, I don't know how old that comment is, but remember I said when you ask the dimensions on the pallets, right, technically it's a dedicated load. So remember the one before, we like booking dedicated loads and turning them into partials, but on this specific one, the broker was wrong. But you can't argue because it's a dedicated load. No lie, just had this happen to me. Shout out to Talk. The Ty $sign of trucking, LOL, shout out from ATL Hall Install Pro. Shout out, man. Appreciate it. That's why communication is key. Yeah. What's the best states for me to get into? It's the Midwest and it's the Northeast. I don't see any lies being told here. I got to keep it real, bro. I got to keep it real. Let me see what y'all doing on IG. Can you see the size of the pallet on the board? A lot of the times, no. And you have to be careful asking those questions, Jay, Too Fresh Jay, because he's going to start thinking you're going to partial his shit, and you don't want to tip him off. Let me see. What's a good RPM for a partial? We talked about that. I'll save this live. Hey, you guys, we just hit that hour mark. I love you guys. Man, everybody on YouTube, I especially love y'all, and IG, just because y'all been rocking with me since we've been back. I plan to drop a video or something on IG every single day. On YouTube, I plan to get at you guys at a minimum of twice a week, once every Sunday, and I'm aiming for Wednesday for some type of video. Just make sure y'all watch them, y'all. Just make sure y'all watch them, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to sign out of YouTube first, man. I love y'all. Let's go. Checking out the box.
Let's just keep it 150. You ain't in that gym with me. You ain't there when I take that L, so how you just gonna win with me? 24 hours, Ken Griffey, I know.